Hello there YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. I am the Common Sense Guy, or as some people would like to call me, I'm Jason. How you all doing? That being said, let's get into this video today, shall we? It's going to be a two-parter video. It's going to be a little bit of a catch-up, to be honest, because I haven't really been doing too many videos recently. What we're going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a two-part of a specific section. I'm going to do today's part now, and I will try and also upload tomorrow's part. So obviously today being Tuesday, you should be getting the story about how CPS, or the head of that organisation, has actually found out that they were not giving the correct information, the correct evidence to the defence of rapists, meaning that over 47 rape cases now have to be retried. Again, as I said, this is going to be a two-parter video, and tomorrow's video, Wednesday's video, is going to be the second half of this. The second half of this is going back a little bit further to a Sun report that actually states in the report, which will all be linked in both sections down below for both videos, for both actual stories, will actually be telling you that the Home Office had evidence that knew about Rotherham, the rape cases, for over 16 years. That means that if it acted on it, that means people that are affected nowadays would not have even have been born if they actually have done something 16 years ago. But hey, that's governments for you that don't actually want to do anything about multiculturalism and don't actually want to talk about the problems. I've rambled on enough. Now let's get into the first part of this two-part video, shall we? Right, here we are on the first part of this video. We are on the BBC, as I said before. The link will be in the description box below, so please follow along with me on this one. So first of all, MPs criticise head of public prosecution's criminal case failures. So on the forefront, it doesn't really look too bad of what's going on. They're just criticising her, right? Well, yeah, let's get into that, shall we? So, MPs have criticised the Director of Public Prosecutions over failings in the disclosure over evidence in the cases. So, a number of rape trials collapsed last year after it emerged vital evidence had not been given to the lawyers. So, the police are now apologising for rape cases errors. All current rape cases are urgently being reviewed. Evidence within 47 sexual assault cases are now being reviewed again, which means that it is more unlikely that these cases would have to be retried, or if they haven't been tried just yet, are going to be retried or at least re-examination. So now we need to find out what the actual reason is behind this, don't we? So in the lead up to criminal trials, police and prosecutors have a duty to disclose evidence or information that might either help the defence case or harm the prosecution's case. But the Justice Committee's report said there have been persistent problems with the practice of disclosure. I suppose that has nothing to do with data protection laws, right? So we have seen at least 6 reports in as many years that have highlighted issues and made recommendations, it said. So moving down just a little bit more, the committee said that despite these insight, Miss Saunders failed to recognise the extent and seriousness of long-term disclosure failings. In other words, not providing the correct evidence or the correct defence evidence. The committee said that despite this insight, Ms. Saunders failed to recognise the extent of serious of long-term failings, just to reiterate that final point. The report also said that the Crown Prosecution Service may have underestimated the number of cases halted because of issues with disclosing evidence. Data from the CPS showed 841 cases just in 2017 and 18 had to be stopped. But the committee said it knows that the true figure is higher, saying the CPS may have underestimated the number by 90%. So, a little bit of quick maths there. They're saying that they estimate that to be over 1,500 cases that had to be stopped. Roundabout. That's a long time. That's a lot of cases. A lot of cases. Now, it's very, very poignant that all of these cases seem to be done with rape cases predominantly. I mean, that's what they're attacking on this news front. It's very, very interesting to me on that one. I don't understand why it would be a case of there would be a misunderstanding of evidence or loss in chain of evidence and rape cases. I have no idea on that one. I mean, take it as you will. So, moving down to lifelong impact, committee chairman Conservative MP Bob Neill said the police and CPS often see the disclosure of evidence as an administrative headache. A view which was not acceptable. No, because that administrative headache could either put an innocent person into prison or give the chance for an actual guilty person to get back out on appeal. So that administrative headache is actually prohibiting due justice, or the due process for justice. And surprisingly enough, Mr. Neal, a former barrister, added, disclosure failings are extremely damaging for those concerned and can have a permanent lifelong impact. Yes, for all the people that were possibly put into prison, but the fact of maybe not actually doing anything because the actual evidence that you've actually stopped may or may not have helped those people still remain innocent rather than being proven guilty. But I'm just a little man in the corner speaking on the internet through a camera, and you're an MP and also used to be a barrister. I'm sure you know this better than anyone. But this is a quotation still from Mr. Neal. The failings have caused miscarriages of justice and, as the Director of Public Prosecutions even admitted to us, some people have gone to prison as a result. Just to confirm what I have literally just said has been written and has been quoted by the Conservative MP Bob Neill, who used to be a barrister. I don't know where to go on that one. The committee found failings in the application of a disclosure by police officers and prosecutors on the ground and called for a culture change. Because anything that ever happens that is wrong definitely needs a culture change. It's like a buzzword that just keeps carrying on. Just give them the correct training and give the right people the right jobs. Then you'll actually understand what they're actually doing and be able to, complete their job, for instance, maybe. I don't know. Again, I'm not an MP or a barrister. I'm just some bloke on the internet talking to you through the power of his camera. So it was seen as a core justice duty rather than an administrative add-on. When it comes to Miss Saunders, the committee said there was insignificant focus and leadership in dealing with the problem and that she did not significantly recognise the extent and seriousness of failures within the process. But surely there would have been somebody above her. And if there wasn't somebody above her, then she needed the correct training to be able to go through that. And if she is the head of her public sector, then there must be somebody that is above her public sector which needs to be held account for this. The fact that Miss Saunders may or may not have been to blame is not the issue, but she still needed the training, which means the person that's above her needed to be held accountable for this, to not provide the correct training, to make sure the right culture is in place. So let's move down to the right resources. The report published on Friday also called on the government to look at whether there is significant funding for the system. Mr. Neal said that proliferation of electronic evidence makes disclosure ever more challenging, and we need the right skills, technology, resources and guidelines to resolve this once and for all. Just to use the leftist ideology here, it's 2018. We've had justice systems in our courts, for instance, since around about the 1700s. Why hasn't this been sorted out yet? Why are we still failing on the idea of paperwork or administrative duties, apparently? What the hell's going on with our systems? These all seem like they're points and cases to be able to either get people off or to make sure that things are just going wrong. I don't understand why the incompetence of any form of government or any form of justice system is allowing this to happen. It makes no sense. So the failings are symptomatic of a system under immense strain. Without change, we cannot expect the public to have confidence in the criminal justice system. Well, let me guess, after this story, and probably beforehand actually, considering how things are run nowadays, I don't think there's much problem in worrying about what the public think of you. Because there's no confidence in the justice system at all, to be honest with you. So the fact where you have people defending themselves because they don't rely or trust in the lawyers or solicitors or barristers that are actually put in front of them to defend them. But responding to the report, Ms. Saunders said, "I have been very clear that addressing the long-standing problems in managing disclosure across the criminal justice system is my top priority." Well, happity-do-dah fucking day. I mean this in a nice way. Lessons have been learned too late. Either you need to go, Miss Saunders, or the person who's supposed to be making sure that you're trained and up to charge for the job, for instance, or good enough for the job, should be sacked. Because you were obviously not good enough or trained up enough for the job that you took on. And that doesn't matter if you're a girl or a boy, I'll be saying this regardless. There is an unprecedented focus on finding solutions. I love that word, unprecedented. The reason why it's unprecedented is because there has never been this much of a cock-up before. That's the reason why it's unprecedented. The fact is that you need to find solutions because you have probably over 1,500 cases that need to be retried, that need to be re-evaluated and make sure that all the evidence is given to the right people. Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it, when that actually has to happen, isn't it? And extensive action has been underway over the past year to bring about the necessary change, not just in how cases are handled, but in a wider culture within the CPS and policing. I don't really think that there was a problem in the policing side of things. It's more to do with the CPS side of things, as in making sure that proper evidence is actually given to them. But I don't know, again, I could be wrong. I still like the way that everybody is to blame, where it should actually be the person that is in charge of making sure that the evidence is given to them, i.e. Miss Saunders. Or the person, as I said, that is above Miss Saunders. Because everybody has a boss, so to speak. This is not a quick fix. We will evaluate the measures taken and agree further commitments to ensure there is continuous improvement. The National Police Chiefs Council Lead for Criminal Justice, Chief Constable Nick Effergrave, defended Miss Saunders, saying she was fully aware of the extent of the seriousness of the disclosure and failures and fully committed to working with them. Yes, she is now. She is now. But for over a year, 17 to 2018, there was over 800 and something cases, without going back, that have now not got the proper evidence to either defend somebody or put somebody into prison properly. Which means that they need to be retried. And even by your own conservative estimates, you're still saying that that target, that number, is still 90% short of what it should be. So around about 1,300 to 1,500 people and cases are affected by this. But you know, let's defend the little old woman that's in charge. Let's defend that person. Me personally, I think she should go. She's obviously not good enough for the job. She obviously didn't understand what the job inquired. And the person that was supposed to have trained her and hired her as well should also lose their job because of it. Because gross negligence. Sorry to say on that one, gross negligence. Another review into disclosure is being carried out by the Attorney General and a National Disclosure Improvement Plan is being put into place. Again, just make sure you put somebody into the job that knows how to do the fucking job. So quickly, we're going to do a quick case review. In January, the Crown Prosecution Service, which is the CPS if you didn't already know that, ordered a review of more than 3,600 cases in England and Wales after 4 cases were thrown out of court due to the lack of disclosure. The trial of Liam Allen was stopped in December at Crown Court, days before the prosecution of Isaac Itieri at Inner London Crown Court was halted. And in January, the case against Samson McKell was stopped at Snaresbrook Crown Court in East London, while Oxford student Oliver Mears, who had spent 2 years on bail, had the case against him dropped days before his trial was set to start. The review found that 47 cases of rape and sexual assault had important evidence withheld from the defence. Now that's important. That's really important. Now, a lot of people would say that, oh, this is biased and things like that. No, I'm not going to go on that point. This is the case for justice. The fact that you have to have a fair trial, regardless of what you feel about anybody, regardless of what you feel about the cases. You need to have a fair trial. That is the point of our country. That is the point of our justice system. That is the point of democracy. To make sure everybody is treated fairly, honestly, and has the right to due diligence. That's not happening here. We do not have the right to a fair trial. If evidence is actually being withheld, whether it's being withheld maliciously, like a possibility it could have been, or whether it's withheld due to negligence and gross negligence, at that I might add. It's still a case that this is absolutely shocking coming from a country like is ourselves. Regardless of who's in power, regardless of what ideology you want to believe in, what political structure you think is amazing and what isn't. This story transcends all ideas of ideological points, unfortunately. It's a case of you really do need to look at this and realise that it is a case of we need to make sure that our justice system is actually working properly. And in this case, it's not. It really isn't. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's a case of we now move over to the Home Office new about Rotherham 16 years ago. 16 years ago. That one's going to be emotional. I can guarantee you on that one. So with that all being said, I think it's best for me to say au revoir, farewell, adieu, auf Wiedersehen, I'll see you all again. But first of all, don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe to this video, and don't forget to check out my new videos. See you all again real soon. Bye bye for now.